Hello, my name is Miguel, and today I'm gonna make for you brown stewed pork chops. Pork chops. So you're gonna need a spring of thyme, half of a chocha cut and dice, a small tomato cut and dice, a medium-sized onion and a half cut and dice, peel and dice, a teaspoon or half a teaspoon of pimento berries, a small like a pinch of grated nutmeg, a piece of ginger cut to half of one finger, eight, 6 to 8 garlic cloves. You can use a head, it all depends on how much you're using. I'm only cooking a pound today. Basil, a tablespoon and a half of basil, just for the pound and a half, but if you're cooking more, you can use 2 tablespoons. A tablespoon and a half of dried parsley, marjoram, a teaspoon of marjoram, rosemary, a teaspoon of rosemary, dried or fresh, clove, whole clove, about 3 or 4 whole cloves, Scotch bonnet pepper, 1 and 1 green one. I like my pork peppered. And a salt, tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of salt. I'm just cooking a pound today, so I'm just going to use the salt, a pound, 1 tablespoon. Said garlic and coconut oil for cooking, about half of quarter cup coconut oil preferably, and browning about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons. I'm only cooking a pound, so I'll probably just use a tablespoon or a teaspoon. I'm gonna add it bit by bit and let you know. Now this is not much, this is like quarter pound, or nearly half pound. Stack of scallion, about 2 stacks of scallion. I'm gonna use some jerk sauce, or you can use steak sauce, about a tablespoon, to spruce the taste up. Alright, so having said, strip these dead leaves off the scallion, cut the top off, and cut the top and the bottom. Alright, as for your garlic, you can mash it like that and strip it easily, like that. So to strip those. The onion now, you just take this layer off, just the top layer. Don't waste it by using this. This is the strongest part of the onion. So just the skin, just this layer. Alright, so do that. When I was younger, just like most of you all today, what I used to do with pork chops is just fry it, and then it would be so chewy, but I'll eat it still. So today I'm going to show you how to really cook it up. When I see this, I just remember when I was younger, because I used to eat a lot of this pork chops, fry it up, when I would visit my family in abroad. They had the nicest pork chops in the supermarket, boy. Remember, we're going to have 2 adds. This is add 1, add 2 seasoning. So just kind of slice these. I'm gonna put half in this. Show this actually right now. This is a typical way we cut our seasoning. So put half of the onion in this, half of the scallion over there, garlics, half over here, half over there. Alright, get this out of the way. Put this in add 1, grated nutmeg. about less than quarter teaspoon, about 2 or 3 grates. Boy, the onions are making my eyes runny. Time. Spring time. Put half over here, half over there. I'm gonna straighten up. I'm gonna clean up. Sure. Slice, dice. Slice this. Oh, turnip. I couldn't find any turnip today, but if you can get turnip, you can just use half of a small turnip and dice it. Peel it and dice it. Fine. Dice it fine because you want it to break out in there. Alright. Because I want this to break out in the stew, put half in one and half in the other. Because we're not using plenty. And the ginger now, to about half of 1 thumb or a quarter, or your first index. Just clean it off properly. You can leave some of the skin. Put half over here, half over there. Alright, come on, just continue. It's a rosemary. No. This is oregano. I'm not using any oregano. Oregano is strong. Clove, but if you have some clove, dry clove, you can use like a teaspoon or half of a teaspoon. This is rosemary, a teaspoon. Half over here, half over there. Half a teaspoon of rosemary. This is whole clove. 4 whole cloves. 2 over there and 2 here. Pimento berries. About 1/4 teaspoon. Half over here, half over there. Or half, or a teaspoon, because I have a feeling that pimento seed would flavor pork lovely. This is marjoram. A teaspoon of marjoram. Just a teaspoon. And this is parsley. This is dried parsley. A tablespoon to 2 if you're cooking more. Dried basil. No, put basil in there already. No, marjoram I didn't put basil. A tablespoon or 2 of basil. Salt, tablespoon of salt, so get that out of the way. Salt over here, salt over there. And this is our jerk sauce, or steak sauce. You just use a teaspoon or a tablespoon. Half over here. Half over here. Tomato, we're going to add it in the second add. And the pepper now. Put the pepper in the second add. Carrots, we use carrot, but I don't have any today, so you dice it and put it in. Just dice it, strip it, keep it until you're close to put it in, and you add it like 5 minutes near to the end. There we go. Add 1, add 2. That's our pork chops. I don't wash meat. any meat, so I'm not gonna rinse this. I'm just gonna put this in the pot same way. But if you want, you can rinse it off with some lime. If you notice, most time when I do a video, I rarely never marinate. So if you want, you can marinate this for like half a day or overnight, but refrigerate it. And but use season one and then seal this and put it down and make sure it's ready for the cooking. But you'll use only one season and seal it properly and then put it in the refrigerator and allow it to marinate. Or you can leave it out for an hour or two, seasoned, and allow it to marinate. But personally, it's necessary because sometimes when you marinate overnight, it make the meat juicier. But sometimes if you cook your food properly, it make the meat just as juicy. Just to know, this is pork chops. You have pork leg, and you have pork shoulder, and you also have stewed pork. But this is just pork chops. The only difference with cooking style is that the pork shoulder probably take a little bit longer to cook or pressure, as well as the leg. The stew is going to take the same time as this because it's cut fine. It's cut fine, not fine, fine. Just said it wrong. Alright, put a pressure cooker pot to eat. Put your stove's gauge on medium or 6 for now. Once it's dry, let's add oil. Or just wait a minute until it's dry. Add oil, about half of quarter cup. And just allow it to get hot for a minute. From season 1, add a garlic and a piece of ginger. Alright, we're gonna fry it a little. Stove gauge is on 6 to 8. Just allow it to burn. We're just gonna brown it a little. Sure you want to get it, but don't flip it yet. It starts sticking, so I have to let it stay, but you want to caramel it like this. That's like a minute, so we're going to caramel it for like a minute or 3 minutes. A minute to 3 minutes. I don't have any lime juice, but if you have like a lime juice, just like a teaspoon, and just sprinkle it on top. Not yet though, after it burned the other side. Stove gauges, to be honest, the stove gauge is on 8 high. I just want it to burn. It smells like bacon, a big piece of bacon. So that was like 2 minutes. After 3 minutes to 4 minutes the most, Cover this for like a minute or two. Keep it covered with a regular lid. Start with half a teaspoon of browning. Add water. Half a teaspoon, so it's 1 teaspoon. Alright, this is less than a pound. If I was cooking more, you would use a tablespoon. Like if you were cooking 2 pounds, use a tablespoon. Add 3 cups of water. Sure your lid is on properly. This is on properly. Once it starts to whistle, we're going to time it. It's building. Okay, once it starts to whistle, put your timer for 15 minutes and put the stove gauge on medium, between medium and low, or low. You can gauge it back and forth every 5-6 minutes, but set your timer for 15 minutes. And that took about 8 minutes to build. But the part you need to worry about is once it starts to whistle, set your timer for 15 minutes. Okay, I wanted to show you the browning because when you add it, you want the browning to be almost near to your complexion if you're a dark brown person. A little bit dark, like brown, dark brown, like a Guinness bottle brown. That's how you want it, but you don't want it black. Just when you add in the browning bit by bit. Keyword is brown. You just want to get it brown, not black. Or dark brown. You just want it to have a light brown color. And you definitely don't want it to be white. Just to know, the alternative way to do this is to add water. Like, start with 2 cups because pork sweats water. So if you put it in and cover it and turn the stove on medium low or low and cover it properly and let it simmer, it will build more water. So I would start with 2 cups and then you cook it for 3 hours. For 3 hours unpressured. After 15 minutes, just turn it off and just allow it to cool. If you're in a hurry, just run this on the tap water until here so releases. Once this releases, then you open it. But don't ever lift this up. I believe the flavor escape when you lift this up. Just allow it to cool. Alright, this is how it looks. The objective in cooking any meat is to make sure that it's tenderized. It's tender. Alright. I change pot. So turn it back on, put the stove gauge on high, and just allow it to simmer. If it's too much water for you, you can always leave the pot open slightly so it can dissolve the water. This is how it looks after 3 minutes of stewing up. The stove is on medium. Alright, so that's after 2-3 minutes. Alright, so this is after 5 minutes of stewing. So after 5 minutes, add season 2. Alright. Now, cover the pot properly and turn the stove down on low. You want the seasoning to break down before all of the liquid dissolve. So turn the stove on low, almost off low. So that's 5 minutes gone stewing already, and we pressure cook it for 15 minutes. This is after 5 minutes since I added the seasoning. If you turn the stove down, you don't have to worry about what this will look like. Keep it covered. Alright, this is 12 minutes in. Let's kind of mash the garlics. So you see the water is dissolving, and the seasoning is also dissolving. So that's 15 minutes in. You see, once it's tenderizing, the objective is to just slow cook it, and so it can absorb all that flavor, and so it can be delicious. After 20 minutes, add the tomato, and the carrot would be a nice time to add too, because you want it to cook a little. Yes. Hey, my phone say I have less than a minute, so if it hang up, you'll know why. Being that we already got through the transaction. Yes. And that's it. Remember, it's no pickup, it's a transfer. Remember that it's a transfer. Yeah. Alright then. Alright, thank you. You don't have to worry about what we didn't have. It's good. Just simmer it. And two, if you're not ready to serve, you can turn it off now. Just let it stay. Within the next 2-3 hours, you come back and warm it up without putting it in the fridge, and warm it up, and then that time it's gonna soak in the pork. I don't get to do stewed pork, brown stewed pork anytime soon. But this is chops. It's the same exact way. You know, the chunks where they often pre-cut in the supermarket and have in trays ready for you. You pressure that for 15 minutes, the same, probably all 12 minutes. And two, this is a thin pork chop. If you have a thick pork chop, you can, like the thick ones, you can get away with pressuring it for 18 minutes the most. Stress, this one supermarket that I buy meat from, you know what, I'm gonna say where it is. I don't know if I want to, because maybe later on I might be upset with the supermarket, and I'm upset about it. Anyway, if you ask me in the comments, I'll tell you. It's in Kingston. This once they have more than one branch, but this particular branch, I like this branch. They always have good meat. I don't know where they get it from. The pork now, make sure your pork have a fresh pork usually have a nice pink, light pink color, like my nails but lighter. You understand? And some people like things touch. What I mean by touch, spoiling a little. Meaning it start or it's out and it kind of touch, like it have a little brownness around it, and some of them white. And if it's red, be careful of that one because they add stuff to it to give it a bright color. So it should be pink like the palm of my hand or my nails, and it should not be white. And some of them have a touch, the kind of the brownish thing around it. That's almost okay. Like they almost wanna salt it, but not. It's getting there, but not salt. Don't be shy to smell your poultry, your beef, pork, anything. Smell it for freshness. If it have any kind of any funny smell, it's not good. It should be fresh, like just fresh smell, like no scent, just a fresh smell, like ice or water, or right. Like I've been cooking this slowly, so it's been stewing for nearly 25 minutes, just stewing since I had the second seasoning. This is what I look like. A bit soft, not too much. That's it. Alright, I'm gonna thicken it now. So just turn the stove up. And in a couple of minutes we'll add ketchup. Put the stove gauge on between medium and medium high, which is like 8 or 6. You see, I'm cooking less, but I use the same method and the same ingredients as you would if you were cooking a pound or a pound and a half or 2. If you're cooking 2 pounds, just use 4 cups of water. But this is sufficient because plenty water is in this, plenty. For the half pound that I cooked. Add the ketchup. Add 1/4 cup of ketchup or less. This is a tip. This is finishing, so what you can do is just pour some of the gravy juice in this. You gotta pour some in there, really stir this. That's the idea. When you're being frugal. Alright. Let's cover it so that's we stewed it for 25 minutes on low, very low, just to get the flavor and the thing soaked and all of that. And then we turn the stove up and been cooking it for 5 minutes now. Then we add the ketchup. So we're probably gonna cook it for another 5 minutes to 8 minutes and then finish. Once it starts to stick to the bottom, that's a sign to say it's ready. The aroma is rising like crazy. You can smell that the pork, stew pork, like Sunday dinner stew pork. It smells nice. A lot of people cook stew pork on Sunday, you know. I notice. Or pork and all. Because this is pork, I bet you this video going to get a lot of views. Just like when I did the stew peas with the pigtail. The minute I put pigtail in it, the views off the chart. Alright, it's thickening. So this gravy thickening nice. See, it's tender, so I don't want to stir the pot too much because it's chops, not stew. The reason why it separates a little because you know the skin part and then you have the meat in the middle, so it's gonna separate, but it's okay because the meat is still there. You're gonna see it when I serve. So that's 30 minutes stewing, 25 on low, and no, this is 35 minutes stewing now. So it's 25 on low and 10 minutes now on high. Alright, let's put it up. Stick them. The gravy look rich and nice. You see the color I was telling you about? This is the color you want, brown. The smell is awesome. I can't find a whole piece. Stewed pork chops, Jamaican style. Make sure to say that. Ready? Here goes nothing. Alrighty. First of all, see, it's tender. It's not too soft, it's perfect. that's it. I like it. This is why they say this is the other white meat. In reality is, pork is healthy for you, because it's lean meat. But it's a controversial meat. True, it's in the Bible and they say it's unfilthy and all sort of different stuff. But that don't stop a lot of people from eating it, so see. This is a 3 cup was sufficient. I don't know if I want to title this a healthy way of cooking pork chops or cooking pork, because this really tastes nice. As you saw me use herbs, vegetables, and so forth, and it tastes so clean and nice. And I know it's gonna be easy on my stomach. So this is the method of cooking it with herbs, because most people, if not everybody, is using the powder season. Especially when they cook pork, they use a lot of that powder seasoning to no, I don't know what they do with those things, but they do flavor things nice sometimes. Because the Indian culture use a lot of powder seasoning. A word of caution. I was watching a documentary the other day, and ever so often, I think it was Emergency or something. You know what I noticed? In every one of those little documentary or medical programs or whatever, there's always a vegetarian that's coming in saying they have some kind of slump sickness of some sort. And I find that rather strange. Anyway, I thought about it and I said, well, a vegetarian is just like a regular person. So they're likely to get sick down the road. But oftentimes these vegetarians get sick young too. So y'all gotta be careful about changing your diet and stop eating food and cutting out cholesterol and cutting out all of that stuff, because you're gonna get sick down the road. Eat food and pass it to your stool or your sweat. But y'all need to stop this monitor, because the manufacturers don't care about the individuals. The only thing they care about is money, profit, bottom line at the end of the day for them. So y'all just need to know that the packages will say, okay, it's healthy and so forth, but it's not. Trust me. Number one, the reason why it's not, because everybody's cutting back these days and they put in the cheapest product, the cheapest ingredients they can find. They're going to put in those processed stuff. So just be careful. Eat food, eat meat. One of the reasons why I'm so insecure about eating pork in Jamaica is because, the culture. And I still have locks on my head. And imagine when I was in the supermarket walk. Well, this supermarket is okay. And modern Rastas are eating meat these days, so it's not as bad. But before, if I walk on the street and I eat a patty, you hear them, I want a Ras. I'm look at them and tell them, say, man, I don't want if that business. Because at the end of the day, they say they're not eating flesh. But you know what? A vegetable is still flesh. A vegetable is alive. So you gotta eat. In the human, tigers and so forth, in the wild, them eat each other. Trust me. The shark eat the fish and the fish eat the smaller fish and then so forth and so forth. Go right down the chain line. Same way in the wild. A lion eat this, that eat that. And the grizzled deers and so eat grass. And two, a lot of people don't realize animals that eat vegetarian animals, occasionally they have to get their protein from somewhere. So they eat insects or stuff like that. A lot of different stuff. Hummingbird, a lot of people don't know that hummingbird, they think it's just sap. hummingbird eat. But the hummingbird have to get its protein, and I see this in a documentary because I didn't even know. And they just do like this and pick flies and stuff like that. This is their beak. They just do like this and catch it. I don't cook this regular, but this was nice. This was delicious. It have this clean taste to it too. Usually the pork that don't cook properly make my mouth watery. Like it just full of my mouth of water. But this, no way.